Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Dogs Who Sell TV. My name is Tanya Raby. Today we meet Esther and her dog Shelby from Queensland, Australia. Earlier this year, Esther and her husband experienced our worst nightmare when they realised that Shelby wasn't on the boat while they were underway, and this was on their maiden voyage. I'm really thankful to Esther for having the courage to talk with me about what happened, and more importantly, what she learned from the experience that will hopefully prevent the same thing from happening to any of us. So let's jump right in and hear what happened to Shelby.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now. Set aside your worries, it's okay now. The sun is here to stay. Blue skies, feel the wind beneath you as you fly by. Dancing on a cloud, it lifts you high, high, high. Your troubles blow away. And oh yeah, everything you want's right here. And oh yeah, the music's never been so clear. It goes oh, oh, na 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 na.
Thank you for joining me, Esther, on Dogs Who Sell TV. So today we're going to be talking. So you've got two dogs who are on the boat with you. So who have you got with you?
We've got Shelby. She's nearly 8 years old, and we've got Meg. Shelby's a lab. Meg's a cattle dog. She's 4.
So you bought your boat in February of this year.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you told us a story on Dogs Who Sail that happened.
Yeah.
So you've got this amazing, exciting day. You've picked up your new boat and you're heading off, and then you've had a big event happen.
An incident.
Incident.
It was probably within an hour of leaving Hope Island Marina on the Gold Coast, where the boat was there for sale, and we were moving it to Scarborough Marina, which was it's like a 7-hour journey to get there. But the seaway, the Gold Coast Seaway, from there, you're going through. It's not narrow passages, but you're within, land.
Yes.
And I worked it out by my timeline, because I'm running around, I'm taking photos of the, dogs and everything. So I sort of been able to work out a bit of a timeline of when it happened.
Yeah.
So I think I had been shutting there's a sliding door, and then there were 2 doors off the deck, the rear deck. And I think the sliding door from the saloon had been opened a bit too wide. And I think that's where, and Shelby, the Labrador, is a sticky beak, and she's gone out there unbeknownst. And I'm making a coffee to take up to the flybridge, and then it's sort of coming up, my husband comes tearing down and he says, "Shelby's overboard." And I'm like, "What?" And because I saw this guy in a fishing boat, like a, I don't know, might be 3 metre, fishing boat, just coming up the side. And I thought, oh gosh, he's close. What's he doing? Yeah. And Butch is going, "She's overboard." This guy's come up beside us as we're motoring along and goes, "Oi, you're missing a dog?"
Oh my God.
Oh, and then Butch, my husband's looked over the side and he goes, "There she is. She's up on the bow. This is pretty good."
Oh my God.
So that was the first we realised that she was overboard. She was in someone else's boat.
Amazing, amazing. And
I
I
know.
the stretch of water that you're talking about, and it can be quite isolated, especially during the week. For
Well, in a way, I think that was better because the weekends there's just so busy. You have jet skis, you have there. It is just so busy on a weekend or a public holiday. And this guy was out Wednesday morning going for a fish, and then he's motoring along, and he goes, "What's that in the water?" And he goes over, and he goes, "Oh, it's a dog." And she didn't have all she had on her was her collar.
Yeah.
And he, you've got a dog that weighs between 20 and 25 kilos. That's not easy to pull out of the water. So he got her out of the water, and then he just went, "That's the only boat I can see." And so I estimate she was only in the water 5 or so minutes.
Okay, yeah.
So we are just so lucky that it didn't end up worse than,
had this, like, you're on your first journey on your boat, and it was Shelby that fell overboard.
Yes.
And it must have been, because you don't expect it to happen.
Oh, processing it. My husband was the worst. He was probably in shock greater than me, and embarrassment
Of course,
that it happened, that something like this would happen.
Yeah.
And then because I'm usually the drama queen, and I was just like, we're lucky. It's that this guy came along and saw her. And I was more counting our blessings, and take it as a lesson, as well. And so since then we've put in some extra precautions. So that sliding door now we can open the gap sort of maybe that much, but now it's got a bolt that stops it being slid any further. Other things we do when we've got people on board is we go through a little bit of a safety thing, bit of a this has happened, do not open this door, and we do keep the dogs tethered up when we've gone out, because I usually, if we're motoring along, I'll stay up on the bridge, up on the fly, and we keep the girls tethered up there, because of course Shelby still has to climb to the highest part, and then to have the best vantage point, all of that. But if you get into rough weather, it's not safe to do. But when you're in rough weather, you don't want your dog having free rein over the boat, because you don't know whether they'll be going from one location to another. And if you're not there watching them, you don't know whether they will fall and hurt themselves. So I prefer to keep them where I can see them. And they're not particularly pleased about it, but that's what you have to do.
So the alterations, the safety measures you've taken now are to put a bolt in the sliding door. You do a brief with your guests, a safety brief with your guests, and tether the dogs when you're underway. What else? Was there anything else that you...
I then researched the best life jackets money can buy.
Yes.
And I found a place that sells them in Australia. It's Surf Dog Australia. They're based in Perth. The jackets are made in the USA. And because I looked at a range of different dog jackets that were available that I could buy in town at some of the like BCF or Anaconda and online. But the one I found, I think it has buoyancy under the chest. And it has, to me, it's a far more secure type of life jacket,
Mm.
and it's got that buoyancy under their front chest and sort of their front legs, which gives them a little bit more buoyancy there, whereas a lot of the other ones only have the buoyancy on the back.
That's right, yes.
Yeah. So, and this one has a handle
Right.
on it. So if you've got to pick them up out of the water, you can grab them by the strap on their back, and you can just pick them up.
Yeah.
If you're, so from the boat to the duck board or wherever.
Yeah. And that's a really good point. Like with the life jackets, they're not all created equally, and I have found that you do get what you pay for. And the point that you mentioned about having that around the chest area and also holding up the...
And it keeps their chin up.
That's right. So the other ones that you can get in places like you were saying, the boating, fishing and camping stores, eBay, there's lots of them on eBay, and they just like that foam across the top of the back, and the head will get tired and their head will go into the water and they'll drown.
Yeah.
So have that rest.
Yes.
Is vital to being a good life jacket. Oh, well done. So
they cost around, I think it was close to $150 each. Yeah. So, but
it's insurance, isn't it? And I really love that you're doing this for the Dogs Who Sell community today, because I think, I've spoken to you in the past and I know how much you love your dogs, and it's just an example. It's not like you're being blasé or anything. It's like this can happen to any of us. So,
So as in that incident where Shelby went overboard, my immediate reaction is count your blessings. We had this, I call him Tim the Angel. I'd love to find him and buy him a drink, but he was like the Lone Ranger, and my work is done, and he was gone. And he, but yeah, count your blessings that it happened. It didn't end up, being an awful scenario, like you couldn't find her or anything like that. And then look at what you do and change it. Be a little bit more proactive with that door's left open. Yes, they could get out there while you're under power. Like you wouldn't have one of your children out there while you're under the power.
Absolutely, yeah.
Either. So, you just, dogs are family, so you treat them as such.
Esther and Shelby's Dog Overboard experience is something that none of us want to happen. Thankfully, they had a really happy ending. The point of interviewing Esther was so that we can hopefully learn from her experience and implement the safety measures that she mentioned to maximise your dog's safety on board. So some of those were a good life jacket, a really good life jacket, lifeline netting around the boat, tethering your dog when you're underway, crate training, and I also love to include your dogs in the brief that you do with your guests. Also, another thing to remember is to have identification on your dog. So your phone number and also your boat name. So next episode, I thought I'd follow this one up with, I'm speaking with Jackie Parry from Sistership Training. Jackie is going to talk with us about man overboard or dog overboard procedures. So it's really worth listening to. I learned so much from having the conversation with Jackie, and it really is just taking man overboard and turning it into doggy overboard. But there's also some other things that she mentions that I never really considered for our dogs. So please join me, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for being here today, and yeah, stay safe.